Yeah.
Oh, hi guys.
Hola.
How y'all doing?
Say hi, everybody.
I'm the favorite, so you know.
Favorites for who? Anyways, welcome back, guys, to us.
Yeah?
To us.
We Sabi.
I'm the liquid metal.
Welcome back to our channel, guys, and today we have visitors with us. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Unique.
What's your name? Can you speak?
Oh, speak. Oh, I thought you said. Alright, my name's Michael.
And I am the fight. I am the war.
Guys, I promise we are all normal. We have
I am
normal.
the liquid metal, the Indaboski.
What's your name? Why are you looking at me? Talk. Anyway, so we're back with another discussion. As you guys know, we're trying to do a discussion, hearing other people's opinions. So everybody here is into music one way or the other. Unique sings. Michael.
Does it all.
We'll just list it out for you people right here. Everything is an all-rounder, but True. And then Simi is also into a lot, he's there. But anyway, so today's question is what's your opinion about Christian musicians, would I say featuring non-Christian musicians, for example, the Nicki Minaj and Tasha Cobbs,
Kirk Franklin and DJ Khaled, and
yeah,
I believe he had Future too. I might be wrong because I can't remember the name of the song. Yeah. So what's their opinion?
I feel music is music. If you look at it, most of them started from the church, right?
That's true.
There's
a lot of
they
them.
all started from I don't want to say they all started. Most of them started from the church, and like I said, music is music. I feel you do music because you enjoy it, no matter who is in the song with you, whether gospel or not gospel. But music is music, so I see nothing you as a gospel artist featuring with a non-gospel artist. You just enjoy it, and from that, I think as a gospel artist, you can talk to them, and from there, there's always a reason for everything. If you feature them, there's a reason, and because you see something in them that makes you want to put them in that song, and from there you could
preach the gospel to them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not preach the gospel, they say your attitude towards things, right? Will make people look
so
at
you can influence them.
And when they enjoy it, they always want to work with you again. I always want to work with Uncle Michael every time, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. But if a gospel artist features a non-gospel artist and they like it, they always want to do it another time. And from there, more you do things. And I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but
I think I get what you're saying, but it's more or less what do you call it? So that we're talking about just the music aspect of it. Music generally, I think it's fine to do music with anybody, but I think we're coming from
the gospel
aspect of it, as a Christian.
I think the message you're trying to portray.
Exactly. Is he a step that
portray?
Why are you smiling?
Honestly, can I
talk? Can I talk?
Be honest.
Okay, so I get where he's coming from, right? The whole you could influence them by your act, and because at the end of the day, we're not to discriminate as Christians, and that should go as well for whatever you do as an artist, singer, and whatever you do, it's to work praise and worship and bring honor to God at the end of the day. But I will disagree with the fact that you said music is music. Music is not music. Kanye West's music is different from Kirk Franklin's music.
Yeah, but
music carries a lot of spirit, so music is not music. I'm just saying.
What kind of spirit?
Because are you going to listen to Kanye West's music and be in the spirit of God, lifting your hands and worshiping and
Well, it depends on the song you're talking about now, because he had a whole.
He has an album, yeah.
So
well,
I think
she's referring to an old Kanye.
Okay,
West.
so old Kanye. Okay. The gold digger Kanye. Get it.
What?
That's the song. What? No, I don't mean he's a gold digger. I mean the song that he sang is called Gold Digger, guys.
Oh, okay.
And that's why that's why I said I don't disagree with the fact that you could collaborate with other artists, but music is not music, because Beyonce did a collaboration, I believe on When Jesus Say Yes with Yeah, Michelle and all three of them. And when you listen to that song, let's not lie, it's nice. Like it feels good. Like you want to dance to the song, but you're not going like we can sing that song in church and like you can listen to that song in your room and just like you can still feel the spirit regardless, right? But you're not going to go listen to Beyonce's Irreplaceable and be in the spirit. So like I get where you're coming from.
The spirit is just not a godly spirit. Like.
Exactly, but like I'm talking about a godly spirit.
I feel like what you're saying though, I feel like if you're saying okay, like music carries spirit, I get that. But then again, there's some Christian songs, gospel songs that I don't feel like they attack. Like it comes with a certain kind of spirit too, right? So just because it's a holy kind of song doesn't mean it has the right kind of spirit with it.
Yeah,
right?
Of course, like because like it's not every music that's going to touch you the same way it will touch me, right? We all encounter God differently. He always speaks to us differently. It's not through the same music he'll speak to you that he'll speak to me and whatnot, right? But like regardless, you can't say like secular music and gospel music are the same. You get? Because they're for a different audience,
basically.
But are you talking from the point of view of an instrumentalist?
No, why I said music is music because you can, when I say like it makes sense for a reason. I'm not saying because it has spirit or something.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason why you say it's music. I'm just like generalizing it. Like
So
music
good
is
sound.
music. Not,
Basically,
yeah, exactly.
It's like enjoyable.
I'm not talking about
enjoying
the
it.
spirit
It's
part.
art.
Exactly.
That's the word. That's the word. Okay, Uncle Michael.
I'm
Yeah.
very quiet.
You said yeah.
Yeah.
he's just taking in everybody's.
What did I tell you?
That's true. She predicted you would just be quiet the
told
whole
her
video
that
and
I
just
was
observe.
Imagine. Yeah. So I agree with Simi in the sense that like music is music. Well, if we go back to Jesus' time, Jesus was he hung out with like sinners, quote unquote, like tax collectors, like for some reason I always wonder how is tax collecting a sin, but
It's not a sin. I don't see. I
But,
think maybe
you
what
know,
they did.
I think people were just salty because they were taking their money.
That's true. That's facts.
But and I feel like the real mission as Christians is what those artists are doing. Like those people who are like collaborating with those worldly people. That's why I think the actual going ye into the world and preach the gospel, I think that's what they're doing in their own way, right? Because their way is like is with what they do, with their music, right? Because it's their career. It's what they wake up doing every single day, right? We wake up doing different things. I wake up eating, but that's not the point. The point is, if it's food that I like doing, when I go to dinner, I would like to invite
Non-believers.
my non-believer friends to join me. I won't go to them. I'll ask them to come to me, right? Because the reason I said that is because there's been many times where like my non-believer friends will invite me to a party, like I would be like, yeah, like because I know the kind of people that will be there, what they're gonna be doing. I would say like no, or sometimes I would go super early and leave like super early as well, just to show that I show face. But back to the point. The main point is that those people doing those music with worthy artists, I think it's God's word, because there's the thing about like preaching the gospel. Sometimes like the world is updated in a way, or the world has evolved. There we go. That was hard. So yeah, the world has evolved. So especially us young people. I know for me, for sure, I don't go door to door preaching the gospel.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I preach the gospel in like through what I do, because like sometimes like you guys know this cliche saying says you're the Bible some people will ever read. you know, like your lifestyle,
True.
right? So when these people come, decide to want to come do these features with this Christian artist, like I'm sure they've done a little background check on them, right? They know the kind of music they make, they know the kind of person they are, they know where their faith stands, you know? They know what they're getting themselves into before they go into it, right? So just that alone, you already planted a seed in their lives. And that's the thing about seeds, they grow.
They really do, because I think now it's funny that you said that, because like I said, Kirk Franklin and Kanye West had a song together, and not too long after, like I'm not saying Kirk Franklin is the one that converted Kanye West, but
he did his
it's possible
part.
that he did his part too, right? But then I was gonna say, like, so like, I believe that music has like messages involved, right? So what would you say about people that, like, I don't want to say misinterpret the music, because I feel like your interpretation of the music is your right to own that, right? So for example, let's say Tasha Cobbs and Nicki Minaj. Now we know where Nicki Minaj is coming from in terms of the kinds of songs she puts and the message that she puts across. Now we know the kinds of songs that Tasha Cobbs puts and puts that the message she's putting across. So let's say they put the music together, and let's say, like you say, Tasha Cobbs is the one that invited Nicki Minaj on the album or this track or whatever, and it's a Christian gospel music. But then the audience is saying, it's like looking at it from this side, like, okay, so are you saying it's okay for us to also... Now, there's nothing wrong with hanging out with non-believers, but like, I feel like it's like, do you think the message could be wrong in terms of how they like receive it? Like, okay, it's okay for us to also hang out with these kinds of people that do these kinds of things, right? Because I feel like, for me, when we're talking about this, and she was talking about like, oh, healthy music versus non-healthy music and all that, I just feel like regardless of how the music is, there's an image that is attached to whoever is singing.
How
the
society
song,
already
right?
views
Exactly.
you.
How society already views you. So Tasha Cobbs might be highly, highly spiritual, right? And so it's fine for her to be with Nicki Minaj and sing with Nicki Minaj and
or her audience.
exactly, or the kind of audience that she has. But then other people is like, okay, you're not telling me that it's fine for me to hang out with this person, but then my faith and spirituality is not to that level yet.
Yes, I see where you're coming from, because like I was gonna say the same thing as well, because like let's not forget that as we're trying to, I want to say, win souls to, like, you know, Christ, so is
the devil,
mm-hmm,
pretty much
trying to hinder that, right? So like I can see how it could go both ways, like, you know, she's, or artists collaborating with, like, you know, non-Christian artists, like, okay, it's like to raise awareness to, like, you know, the audience of those artists as well, because you're gonna see, like, those audience are gonna see Nicki Minaj and who's Tasha Cobbs, but they still just the name Nicki Minaj being on that song alone, they want to listen
to the song.
But then that's the same way that, like, you know, I guess Christian listeners, like, or fans or audience of Tasha Cobbs could see the same music, not know, quote unquote, who Nicki Minaj is,
and go sort after
her kind of music. And then if, like you said, they're not as endowed in, like, you know, the word, they could deviate from, you know, their path and whatnot. So
you know what I think is funny is if you look at them, when they actually feature a non-gospel artist on the song, when you listen to what the non-gospel artist is saying, it makes so much sense, and you wonder how do they know about these things, and they sing all the way. Like the Nicki Minaj and Tasha Cobbs, like, I know we're using that too much. What Nicki Minaj said in the song, I was like, wow. So she could sing something like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it was so different from...
Not expected.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even lyrics, that means they know what is right.
But who's to say they wrote the lyrics that they're singing though?
No, that kind of...
But even if they didn't write it, like, they can read, right?
They can read. For them
like,
saying it...
I can read something does not mean I understand it though. I can read a book does not mean I understand the book.
True, but if you look at it, I feel that those kind of words, it actually came from Nicki Minaj. That's our kind of pattern, I won't lie. If you listen to all her songs, that's the kind of pattern she used for all her songs.
Okay.
I used to like Nicki Minaj a lot, like, growing up. I used to like, so I, like, from what she did, like, I was surprised that, okay, yeah, I used to like Nicki Minaj growing up. Like, so, like, what she did there, I was surprised that, okay, wait. Even if you listen to this guy, YBN Corday, I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't.
The guy grew up in he grew up as a Christian, like, black churches, right? And this guy made a whole album, like, some were like gospel artists, some were like gospel songs, and some were just there. But like the gospel part, like he did like a grammar thing, and it was like trouble in my ways. I had to mourn sometimes. Like, he actually knows this thing are true, And like people know like there are challenges, right?
Of course.
And they express it in their music like
Most times.
one way or the other, right? So I feel like even the non-gospel artists, when they're doing something, they don't just do what they do like on their own normal tracks.
They do something that
They do
goes
some
with the
yeah,
same.
they do something like, and they might just do it like for just like, but like
Music.
people look at it and me, I look at it and I'm surprised like, oh, so you could
So
actually
you
come up with
know.
something like this and like.
But I have something to say about that, right? So you know how when we started off, where like most of these artists and everything, most of them started from the church, right? So there's a background. There's already a foundation.
Yeah.
But then let's say, okay, music is a thing that, you know, we all start from church, you all try to like, you know, branch out and then have your own thing. And then that line of business per se did not work out. And they feel like, okay, I want to satisfy the society. That is why they switched on what kind of music they're delivering, right? So now they've switched up, and that's what's giving them, or like, that's what's giving them, what is it, name, money, whatever, the fame or whatever. So now that kind of person, there's no doubt that they know, you know, where they're coming from. They have root, right, in the church and the ministry and everything. So if they're to have a, what's it called, a collaboration with religious artists, I don't think the lyrics as at that time, if they're writing the song, I don't see that as a big deal, because like it could be something, because some of these people think about it like on a very, very, in fact, let's bring it back like to our daily lives, like how somebody might see me on the street, let's say like a classmate, I don't really interact with you as much, you see what I show you, right? But maybe, okay, for instance, you see me at a party one time, maybe, or like a festival one time, and I'm there and I'm having fun, right? That doesn't mean, oh, you see me in church and you don't expect me to know anything. Like I have a background, like I'm coming from home, you know, like I there's a way I do my things in the house, and like there's a way I, like my parents have brought me up, you know, there's just that background that is just going to be there irregardless. So we don't know these people's true story. I don't know. Somebody told me once that everything about celebrities online like is what they want you to know. It's written stories. So you might not necessarily know. Some people do know, but I don't think their background should have anything to do with it. I just feel like from the topic we're talking about, like music wise, I agree to a certain extent, because it could be a way of evangelizing, right? Because inviting somebody, well, yeah. So from what Michael said, like they're coming to you, right? So it's like you sent out a request and they're agreeing, knowing the kind of artist you are. So they might have, what's the word? English. They might have thought about it, or like, you know, sat down and like really thought about it and everything. And like for them to now take that step, I feel it's like, okay, I'm willing. There's a will, right? So when there's will, there's hope, right? Yeah. So like, yeah, so there's a will. So like you've taken that step. It's like, okay, it might not be your kind of thing, but it's like, okay, I want to do this because I know that it's not wrong, right? But if it was that, oh, I sent you a request and you're saying, nah, I don't want to do it, I'm not interested in the gospel, now that's a whole different thing. But then they went ahead and did it. It might just be that their one time of being like, okay, God, I know, like, you know, I know what it is, like how people see me is not exactly how it is. So that's that side. And then to the other extent, I don't know, I feel like society carries like majority of a lot of things right now. Like people view things based on society's perspective, and then if the society is the one looking at it like, what was even making two of you mix together, people don't want to understand why or how you shouldn't be. It's like making it, oh, it's a norm already, like, oh, religious this side, non-religious this side, there shouldn't be a mixture, which is, from what he said, wrong.
Yeah.
Go ye and preach the gospel. That's just my say.
That's very good.
Are you done talking?
Oh,
I thought she meant me. I was like, that's so rude.
No, you're copying yourself.
Well, go back to your question. You said you asked like, does that mean that like people who are listening, they were like, oh, does it mean this is okay for me to go?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because that was the initial question. So
drum roll.
It's important to not get confused. Okay, because that's what like the greatest problems we're having in like Christendom.
Confusion.
We get confused, and the reason we're confused because we're not well invested in the knowledge of, you know, God. Oh no, I think they're gonna come after me for saying that.
Why would they come after him?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but it's true though. Like sometimes,
So-
yeah, they're not well invested. In
Yeah.
Some teachers be confusing you.
Yeah.
Not
So
Let's not deviate.
that's why I feel like, you know, there's nothing like saying stuff like, oh, does it mean I can hang out with anyone I want or whatever? Of course you can, right? But what matters is, like, what are you leaving those people with?
Wait, what are you giving? Oh,
You know?
yes.
You
Like,
get
what do you-
lost in it.
Exactly. Like, what do you,
Facts.
like, after they meet you, if they're drinking, they're taking shots, are you also participating in it? I'm not saying anything about, like, oh, that's a different topic, drinking or whatever. No, I'm not saying that, you know? But, like, what are you leaving them? Like, if you go to a party where they're, like, doing whatever, you know? First of all, I don't know why you're there, but let's say, for some reason in life, you found yourself there, right? What are you leaving those people with? Because I promise you, at least one person will be impacted, like, by how different you are.
Yeah.
You know? And I think any person that you meet in life, you leave an impression,
Of course.
right? Every person you meet. So, like, for example, let's say you drink alcohol, right? And then you go to a party where all they're doing is drinking. You're drinking. Like, for me, I would be like, if they offer me a drink, like, oh, aren't you drinking? You don't drink? I'm like, yeah, I do, but I'm not drinking tonight. Why? Because, I don't know, for some reason. You know, just to, like, give that sense
not
of...
being judgmental.
Yeah, you're not being judgmental. It's
Of
like, I
course.
drink. I do drink, but tonight, I don't feel like drinking. You know? You leave something with them, because that right there can, like, open doors for more questions. Oh, are you a
Yeah.
Christian? Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian. It's like, oh. You know, like, it just goes on from there. Like, seeds,
True.
seeds, everywhere, seeds.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel, oh, sorry, but I just feel like, yeah, you don't have to necessarily be always participating in what
course.
everyone is doing, basically. Yeah.
exactly.
It's
Right?
like
Essentially,
the
that's
question's
actually fact.
answered. So like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with collaborating with non-Christian artists.
I think it's just your
but-
perspective of how you look at it.
Yeah.
These artists, like, when they feature these non-artists, for one artist, for example, let's take one artist, for example. How many times will he feature a non-gospel artist in his whole career? You can count it,
True that.
right? So he probably has like maybe 100 songs, and probably feature an artist, like a non-gospel artist, like a big one, 5 times, you know. So that's the thing. We can we can go into the world and, like, you know, like, collaborate with, like hang out with non-believers, but you have to have a purpose. Like, there has to be a reason why you're doing it, not just because, oh, I want to go have fun. No, that kind of fun shouldn't be your type of fun, right? The type of fun they're having. So if you're gonna go there, it has to be for a reason. Now, when you do go there, it won't be every time. You know, when you go there with a purpose, and once, like, you feel like you've done what you should, you leave. You know, they should not have to kick you out. They should not have to be like, oh, party's over and you should go home. Like, once you get to, like, be disciplined with it. You know, you go there, you don't drink. Once you get to tell them, oh, once it gets to this time, I have to go. You know, type of thing. Especially if it's like a friend that you feel like you're called to, like, sort of reach out to. You know, because that'll be the only reason I would go to something like that. You know, because then when you go there, then you give them the opportunity that when you invite them to church,
They
they'll
know
want to
how
come.
to
Not that they're not tired, like, they will want to come as well.
They'll wanna come,
Because
yeah.
if they invite you to their party and you show up, you say, oh, I can only stay for this time, but they'll appreciate it, right? So then when the tables are turned, you're like, okay, hey, we're having this event at church. Would you like to come? They would want to come.
But sorry, I just want to say
sorry,
something.
okay.
Because I just thought about something. I feel like we are forgetting the fact that a lot of those times these things are not for free. right?
What do you mean are not for free?
Is
The
money that
party?
is involved.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking about party. Right?
The
Music,
features,
like
right? Yeah.
the features are not for
features.
free.
Oh, okay.
So for example,
They're not,
now if I'm, let's say, let me switch it around. So like, it's not a gospel artist that is inviting the non-gospel artist. Let's say the non-gospel artist is singing a song. Now let's say a healthy song, as Iya here would say, like healthy. So it's not just like, you know what I mean, right? I don't want to use the words. So, but then they're inviting gospel artists. Now, if you are going to be, of course, I'm not saying you should act any different because you're collecting money, but I'm just saying if your purpose is also like, okay, you know what, as I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to plant seeds, right? But let's just, I feel like me thinking about it in a realistic point of view, it kind of defeats the purpose of you going to plant seeds if you're going to take that money. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's like now it's just like a strictly I feel like your intention regardless is just a business move.
I get what you're saying. 100, like that's so true. That's so true. You know what? Because initially, okay, and here's the thing. That's the thing about these non-Christian artists. Like, sorry, these Christian artists, right? They've already built this sort of empire of like, okay, what they do is they spread the good news, right? That's what they do. So when it's time to collaborate with these people, they don't even have to have the intention that they want to go plant seed. You know what I mean? They don't have to like, oh, I want to go here to plant seed. That would just already do it like automatically, because like, well, first of all, when they say they want to collaborate with these people, first of all, it's strictly business,
Of course.
right?
I was gonna say that.
It's
Yeah.
business, because it's a business strategy. Because if they're more famous and they get a feature on them, they most likely get more people to come listen to their song, right? And then you know, like it's gonna like spread out to people listening. They will feel impacted. You know, even non-Christians that will be listening to it. Blah 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 blah. But they don't have to go into it with a mindset that, oh, I want to make an impact. That can just be like in the back of their head, like, oh, this can be like an opportunity, you know, but it's not the main thing. That would just sort of happen itself.
It's not something that's planned?
It's not something that's planned.
Okay, so when you say...
If it's not something... Go ahead. Go ahead.
When you say like business, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking like the opposite. Now it's not the Christian artist.
Either
Inviting
ways.
Because we've been looking at it, I feel like most of us have given our opinion and answers based on the other week. Like, you know, I'm inviting them into my house. I'm saying now they're the one that has called you, right? So like they've heard your music or they know, because at the end of the day, let's think about it too. Kirk Franklin is a very, very famous person. I even feel like even non-Christians know who he is, right? So he's also a business strategy for them, right? Because they know that they have this kind of audience. To this person packs this kind of audience, so I'm going to invite this person to be on my track.
Okay, but sorry. I think, okay, so now, you know, we're talking about the person. But I think when it comes to business, it's a whole company, right?
Yeah.
Some people is not company. Like some people are just they're not in a company, and that's just, for example, when Chance the Rapper sang with Kirk Franklin, he wasn't signed to any label. I don't even think he's still signed to any label, is he? I don't think so. Like when the song that I'm talking about, like it was Chance the Rapper that put him on an album. Now this is the thing that I said, Chance the Rapper is kind of iffy because he sings songs that is strictly like,
okay, so
you know,
we're not gonna use Chance the Rapper as an example. Okay, let's go back to like the whole Nicki Minaj and Tasha Cobbs.
Let's say Nicki Minaj invited.
So
Tasha
now Nicki
Cobbs.
Minaj is inviting Tasha Cobbs. I feel like Tasha Cobbs is like way up there. So is Nicki Minaj, right? And then now Nicki Minaj is the one inviting Tasha Cobbs. There's still companies involved. Business wise, that is already sorted out.
Yeah.
That's the money part, right? So now Tasha Cobbs is the individual.
Yes.
She also has the right to say, no, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, who is inviting again? Nicki Minaj is inviting her. So it's like, okay, fine. The business as a whole sits down like, oh, if you do this, there is this, blah, blah, blah. They have all their statistics and all that. That's different. Okay, it's like, okay, you know what? I'll do it. As he said, you don't have to have the mindset that I'm going to impact life, but it's just like, okay, I'll do it because my spirit is telling me that, sure, it's fine. Like, I don't think the money aspect should really change as much. I don't think it should impact as much.
Because it is their career. It's what they do for a living. Right? So the money part is sort of inevitable. You know, it has to be spoken about. Like, they have to come to some sort of agreement. Like, oh, maybe I'm taking 50%, I'm taking 40%, you're taking 60%. All that kind of stuff You know, I don't know however they deal with it, but the business part is essential. It's the main part. The first part is the interest, right? Oh, I like the way you know, sing, and then like I want you to come on my song. So what? Let my management meet with your management. You know, let's come to a discussion. You know, let your management do the business part. You know, and honestly, these artists usually they never really have to worry about that, especially if they have a manager or like a company where they don't have to.
Sit in the studio and do your job.
They just let their management talk to each other, and then so it's like having your parents and then like okay, that's bad. Okay, anyways. You know, like the management talk to each other, and then you and the artist you talk and you get more personal and you type of thing. So it doesn't change.
I feel like it could not even be. It could be more or less. Well, either way, like the invitation happens. I feel like imagine if like, you know, like Tasha Cobbs invites Nicki Minaj. I feel like imagine like it's like, okay, I have a few questions, kind of thing. You know, some people always have like all those questions about like Christianity, like, okay, this is why I'm not doing it this way because this is my certain perspective of it. So it's like an opportunity to like ask questions, and as I said, you communicate with the person at some point. So it's just like, okay, like I just have the chance to meet you. I might as well. Why are we looking at
it's sometimes called an opinion and discussion. Like there's no conclusion. There's a lot of things that I still don't agree with, but keep it moving.
Don't we never agree with anything? Exactly.
No. All I'm gonna say is like, for example, like I just feel like if your intention, like no back of your mind, or you don't have to even worry about it. I feel like if your intention in like, nah, this is when the other person invites you in to sing the song. I feel like if your intentions from the beginning is not, okay, this is a means for me to preach the gospel, spread seeds or whatever, forgetting about the money aspect, it's like, why even dabble into it? It's like you can sing with another person. If it's like, if
what
it's
if
just
that
strictly
person you want to impact, not necessarily the other.
That's what I'm saying. No, now
Okay, in
that point of view, though, if it's that
not
person you want to talk to and preach to or whatever, that it's different because your opinion, your intention is specifically about the gospel. It's like comes of, it's like basically supported by what you do as who you are in terms of your belief and being a Christian. But if that's not your intention in the first place, as I'm just like, it's just like, for example, it's like, so I don't know if you guys know who Pastor Adeboye is, for example. Okay, so like we all know Pastor Adeboye. He's like a very big, he's like a religious personnel, right? Okay. It's like, for example, who can I use? I'm trying to think of someone that is like completely the opposite.
Excuse me? No, I'm not opposite.
Okay, for example, Bob Risky. Let's say, for example, Bob Risky invites Pastor Adeboye for his YouTube channel, let's say, or like on his Snapchat, whatever. Now, if Pastor Adeboye's thing is like, okay, let's say he's going to get paid for it. If his intention is not that, okay, this person, I want to go and I want to help. I want to maybe my life, like, you know, the Bible thing you said. Let me see. That's why I'm going to answer your call, right? And I go. If that's not it, what are you looking for there?
Yeah. No,
do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, if that's not your intention, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's strictly now money. So in that sense of view, now it's no longer. I don't feel like now we're just dealing as a business to business. You're putting your religion aside, which I think is an issue. Yeah. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I feel like that's what she was trying to say, and everyone kind of deviated a little bit, because I was like, if the artist is the one inviting you in, you know you're a gospel artist, and that other artist is not. Are you going to go in? Because the artist is not going to be like, oh, so I'm about to sing about, like, you know, that's how this person broke my heart, and how I'm going to, like, you know, aggressive kind of music, and then they want the gospel artist to come be a part of it. You as a gospel artist, don't get me wrong, you could still be a part of the music, but does your value have to be different because you're featuring in this person? Like, because exactly, because it might be business, but at the end of the day, your value still has to be the same.
Yeah, because like that's when because when it like if that's the type of song they want to sing, you know, like about breaking their heart. Then when the gospel artist comes in, then they put in God's
the lyrics.
Exactly. No, lyrics are different. This is the thing, lyrics can be written. I understand where you're coming from. Like, lyrics have a certain kind of, like, music has poetry, lyrics have whatever. I don't have to know the Bible for me not to know things that are in the Bible. Like, I don't have to understand the Bible. Like, there's some things that people say nowadays that is actually a word of God, but people don't even. Some people, it's so used now that it's just a word.
I feel if
there's a difference,
if
right?
the artist is singing about a heartbreak and you know about it as a gospel artist,
you can't. This is the thing.
Even if you're putting God word there, like, It doesn't.
It doesn't go. Okay, let's say you're not
What do you
even
mean
using
it doesn't
God's
go?
word. No, let's say you're not even using
Because
God's
look
word.
at it, you are featuring someone. What's the person doing? Is the person taking the chorus, or if it's a chorus, right, and you're singing about heartbreak, the gospel artist is trying to sing something that adds value, and then the verses is still about heartbreak. There's no
I get what you're saying.
Okay,
like,
no.
flow. Like
Yeah,
that.
it could still flow. No, I
Two different
disagree severely.
This is what we're looking
Because,
for.
see, the person could be singing about heartbreak, as in the artist, the non-gospel artist is singing about how their heart's been broken by whatever experience they've had in life. But let's not forget, God always comes to fix
of
things.
course.
I know,
So the
but-
gospel artist could come in.
Yeah,
You know,
but-
the non-Christian artist is here singing like, you know, their heart's broken. That's how they've gone to the dark side. And then the gospel artist could come
Really?
in like, Lord is the light, and you know, sing their own
See,
chorus.
you
and, like,
you
know,
are
No,
just get back
no,
and forth.
you know what? Look at that kind of song. If it actually comes out, look at it from the perspective of non-believers. How would they see it? Look at the non-artist sings the verse like about heartbreak, and then the gospel artist sings like a chorus about God. Maybe God is fixing it, and the next verse is the non-gospel artist still sing about heartbreak, and then there's a chorus about God fixing it, and then it ends it with heartbreak still. You as an individual that you know, no. What I'm saying is, you as an individual that you know that okay, you know the right thing. You feel that okay, there's nothing bad with it. But like other people, you're just talking about yourself.
The majority of the song is
the majority
heartbreak.
of the song is about heartbreak. It's like 80% of the song is about heartbreak, and few people will get the message. People get different messages to different songs.
Guys, okay.
So I feel like people will get the good side of the message, but the people that get the bad side of the
Antenna is
message
twitching.
is like.
Let's forget about lyrics. Yeah. Because let's
But
forget
lyrics-
about
lyrics is the music.
I'm not saying we should
Exactly.
forget about it in
Music.
terms of like it's not important. Lyrics is music. I'm not even talking about the music now. We are not even I wasn't talking about the
I think
music.
that's gonna create another conversation.
I was talking about the fact of like the intentions of why you accept the person's request. Like I'm not talking about the song you're
But that's
bringing
but it's a
out.
personal
I'm
thing.
saying
to accept
The
it.
intention-
See, what I'm
Me-
trying to say is that you said what did you even say again? You were saying basically that okay, I'm choosing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna answer this person because I want to preach to them, right? Or I want to talk to this person. I want to impact this person. I want to help this person. It could be that. In that scenario, if that's what it is, your intention aligns with your values and your belief in God.
Okay.
But if you are just going to go as per okay, like
Just
Michael
going for the
said,
music.
as per like, you know what, let me just answer this person's call. My manager has sorted it out, blah blah blah. This person doesn't seem too bad, blah blah blah. You know, I'm thinking about what they can do in terms of how they can help me, how it will help my following, or I don't mean following as per like Instagram, social media. I just mean like your people, your audience too, right? Your musical audience. If that's your intention, I feel like you shouldn't even be found there at all. Like you should not answer the person at all. Well, I believe I'm not saying that you should not like non-music, spiritual art, non-gospel artists and gospel artists cannot collaborate together. My opinion is just that I feel like on both ends, if I'm the one inviting you to sing my song, I feel like if I'm the gospel artist inviting you to sing on my song, first of all, that means I know that it's my song, it's my kind of audience. So I know from the back that this person I'm inviting, whatever they're going to be singing, they're singing it to my audience. So I feel like it's a business move to be smart. You should want to invite somebody that will sing the kinds of thing that you want them to, like your audience to hear. You know what I mean? Now, if the other person is the one inviting me, in that point of view, I just feel like my intention and value should be stated clear from the very beginning.
So I think, and I agree, 100%. And what I'm about to say is not to disagree. It's to actually add to it. When I like talk about like management talking to each other, like as a Christian artist, your value as your Christian values is gonna be like one of the top things in your that your manager
Contract, of
will know,
course.
right? So when your management they're talking to each other, like for example, let's say let me deviate a little bit and use another example. Like let's say Disney. You know?
Disney
Like,
as a company?
Disney as a company.
Okay.
Wait before I use it. Is Deadpool Disney?
No.
It's not. It's Sony.
Marvel.
don't
Yes,
believe it's
Sony and Marvel. Sony and Marvel.
No, because Marvel's
Sony has Marvel Pictures.
Okay, then let's just he's gonna Google.
Wait.
Okay, he right.
Marvel.
Wait, what
sorry,
was
sorry.
Deadpool? The actual Deadpool?
Yeah,
It's
Sony has
all
Marvel.
Marvel.
That's
now.
Marvel.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
Sony
I
has
just
Marvel.
watched it today. That's Marvel.
Sony has Marvel. Like, you see
I don't
Sony.
think- yeah, I know,
and
but
Sony
like,
is Marvel, but then I think he's
No,
saying
Sony is
that
not
this-
Marvel. Sony is like
they are
another-
together,
I
they
get it
collaborate.
together.
So okay, so
did you get your
wow,
answer?
Disney. Okay, so Disney said Deadpool will not be coming to Disney Plus. Okay, that's perfect because that goes against towards my example, right? Disney, they only make like
a certain kind
rated
of
PG, like PG-13 at the most. At the most. Disney.
Okay, the actual Disney. Let's be
yeah,
guided.
there's Disney Plus.
There's Disney Plus. Yeah,
You guys are on Disney Plus?
No,
What's
we're
your-
just saying there's
That's what I'm
Disney
saying.
Plus. Oh, that's what he's trying to get to. I get it now.
Guys,
I get it now.
This like Disney the company.
The actual Disney, where it started from Mickey Mouse, Disney.
No, like even Disney to like the
I
same
remember
Disney.
when it came
yeah,
out.
when same like they don't like
I am lost.
they don't make you never see them really make rated R
content.
movies in a
Content,
sense
yeah.
like you know. So if they're gonna collaborate with like
It's all
Marvel
family.
Cinematic Universe, right? Like if you see all the movies in Marvel Cinematic Universe, like it's all been like PG-13
Gruesome.
movies.
Marvel?
But Deadpool is not in the Marvel
Wait, Avengers
Cinematic
is
Universe.
PG-13?
It is.
Really?
Marvel. Deadpool's not.
No, I'm actually.
Deadpool's not for kids, bro.
Avengers is for kids?
No, it's PG-13. It's not
For
for
kids.
13
It's just
above.
13 and like above.
Below.
Above.
below.
So 13 and below
above.
can't watch. That's what PG-13 means.
That's what PG-13 is.
You didn't know this?
Guys, I thought it was. You have to be at least 13 to watch the movie.
Yes!
That's it.
But
No, not to watch him, to pretty grasp it.
But then 13 are
Wait,
also
no.
kids, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So that
PG-13 means.
Like the audience is like 13.
minimum of okay, 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
To fully
And
enjoy
above
it.
a 13
Right?
and below.
And above. That's what he's saying.
Sorry.
And
Yeah.
above, not below. Below to where?
Wait.
Are we okay?
I feel like when they say PG-13, as in like, let's keep it within like the 13 range age, not from like let's not make it seem like kids who are
Teenagers?
like 5 years can't look at it. Like let's keep it within the 13 age range.
No. It's more like
It's,
so.
it's a recommended type of. So when they say like that PG stuff is to tell you the kind of audience. that
PG is parental guidance.
Yes, 13.
13, yeah. So above 13, they still need parental guidance anyways until you're adults.
Okay.
Anyways, back to my
Back to you
point.
and you.
My point is, the kind of company they will only like you won't see them sort of make movies with like another company that's known for like making rated R and stuff. Because if they're gonna let's say they decide to wanna collab, they have their terms. Disney will have their terms. Like this is our terms. It must be PG. This. It can be R. Certain words can be in it.
Used, yeah.
Do you agree with these terms? Type of thing. So when I say the management, your manager knows you. They know that they know like you already have all these discussions like, oh, this is my Christian value comes first, number one, for example. And then you say like, oh, certain words I can't say in a song. Certain songs I can't be a part of if it has this in it.
Or if the video be like this.
Like
So
stuff like
basically, your
that.
management is already conveying
They
your
are-
values. your
Exactly.
Basically,
intentions.
yeah.
Right?
It's like when you
So-
build a company, the mission, the vision.
Exactly. So when I say
stated.
oh, it's not really like the gospel thing is not really like reaching out to preaching the gospel is not number one on your mind. When I say that is because you've already
been
built that
sorted out.
empire. You already sort of
Yes, sir.
established that.
Yeah.
First of all, with your career, and second of all, with your manager, who will be talking to the other manager. So literally, whatever they will be talking about is literally like about like.
If your management does not say it's fire, then
like they have to, right?
they've not done their job.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not number one in your mind because it's already being taken care of, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So
I think this was a healthy conversation. It was a healthy discussion.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at myself. I look like an inmate with this trailer.
What?
He's not an idiot.
Anyways. They just had to do it. They just had to do it. We were gonna ask the second question, but really we wouldn't. There's no time. But it was basically still around it. But I just want to ask. I just want to get one answer. Okay, so basically we're talking about what's it called? Yeah, gospel and non-gospel, believers and non-believers. So it goes the same. Like as a person, is it wise to have believers, non-believers as friends?
Yeah.
You know what? Do you know
No,
what definition of a friend is? Like an actual definition of a friend, not somebody you just say hi to. A
Just an
friend,
acquaintance.
like not an acquaintance exactly. A friend, somebody that you spend time with, you do things with. The person knows you, you know the person. You know, like as in padi me.
You guys are close.
You guys are close. So now, and this person is a non-believer. Like,
I think
You just have
there's a saying. Okay, this is don't be weirded out by this, but it's
Are you
still
going
the
to say
same.
birds of the same feathers flock
No,
together?
no. They said as Yoruba.
Say it
Wait.
in Yoruba, I'll
Okay.
translate.
They said
translator.
oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cat? Either cat or dog, but they say one of them. A cat that walks with if a cat walks with a dog long enough, he will eat his something.
shit.
Yeah.
I've
You know
never
that
done
one?
that.
Do you know that one?
I don't
Say it in Yoruba.
Yeah.
Say it in
Anyways.
Yoruba so that we'll
Anyways,
get
now
it.
I will say, my point is though, yes, you can be friends
Okay.
with an unbeliever. They're still people,
Of course.
right?
Agreed.
They're still like human beings,
Okay.
right?
It's left to you.
But like in a sense, but like I said, you will know. No one else would know. Like if I see you with an unbeliever friend, like I'm like, oh, why is she hanging like that? But you would know what kind of impact that you're having on them, right? So it's like I don't know. I don't want to say unequally yoked, but let's say you're friends. Like if you're friends with someone, you leave an impact, and they leave an impact on you as well, right? But if you're gonna be friends with an unbeliever, you have to sort of be alert and be in control of the kind of impact they have on you,
Oh, okay.
right? So you have to be like really strong, and then like your entire mission of being friends with them should be to lead them to Christ. If you decide to like want to be their friend, really love them, all that stuff, because the Bible says if you truly love someone, you will show them. So it's like being friends with someone, and then like it's like, oh, is this my friend? It's my friend. And you see them walk into a pit. It's like, oh, it's my friend. It's my friend. They're almost there. Oh, it's my friend. It's my friend. And you don't tell them like, oh, there's a a pothole there. You're gonna fall. Yeah, oh, it's my friend. It's my friend. Ah, my close friend. My friend. Type thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
at the end of the day, you would be a bad friend if you don't accomplish.
Mission.
Not that if you don't because at the end of the day, you're not the one doing the saving, right?
Of course.
You're just
You're
a
a
vessel,
vessel.
right? Come on now. You're just a vessel, right? So, but it's all about your heart.
Okay.
Your heart, your intention with this person.
Intentions.
Like because
I have something to say too.
you
Just quick.
If anything, to be honest, because like if God forbid that friend dies, right? The kind of weight that will be on you, knowing that
You didn't do anything.
so it's a scary place to be. Is what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, because you now share responsibility for them, in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right. So
Kilode, I raised my hand first. Why are you
sorry,
not?
let me
going
just quickly say it, but I feel like I'll forget. Just very quick. I just wanted to say like don't you're better than that. Don't see I already
See, moving on.
don't go and look for trouble where trouble is not calling your name. Like really like that basically that's what the conclusion. I just feel like if you know
that you're not
in your
strong.
mind that you are not strong enough, because I feel like we all want to go to like Christians are like Christ, but Jesus Christ is the Son of God. He's God himself. God is the whole, like, he's God. Like, you cannot compare yourself to God. So if you know that you are not going to that level yet, and I'm not saying you can ever get to that level, but if you haven't gotten to that level yet, don't go and try to be friends with Christians.
So, like,
because
your
you find
faith must be
yourself
strong.
Well, I should have
you
gone
find
first.
yourself you might find, even if you think that you are trying to like
be the one closing the
do whatever,
conversation.
you are going to find yourself slowly becoming like because by the time you
That's what I
like
said,
that thing you say like cat and dog, you
Kind of
end
people
dog,
that
you start getting
people
mistaken
that
as
Yeah.
school.
basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Have
just
good attitude. I feel in the end, I have like a presentable attitude. Like everybody says,
They should know you for.
They should know
Let me
you
give
who
an
you are.
example.
Yeah,
Like,
they
my
should know what you
mom-
stand for.
My
True.
mom, all her friends, even here, like every morning she sends them open heavens, and sometimes I'm like they're not Christians. In my mind, like they're not Christians. Like, but she's like every day, and funny enough, like you just see them at times. They just call her pastor for no reason. They already know, like, okay,
This is what she is.
this is
But
the,
she's
this-
doing it from a distance. You see what I'm trying
But
to say?
that's-
If she
but-
were hanging around with them, now this is the thing. I know his mom. I
Okay,
know how
sure.
she is
Okay,
in terms of
sure.
her
Yeah, okay,
spirituality.
yeah, I
But let me
feel
ask you a question, though. Now, do you think you're on the same spiritual level as your mom?
No, I'm not there.
Okay,
That's
let's
why I
say
said
now.
they
Let's say
all-
you. Let's say if it were you now. That was closely. I mean, like super duper related with people that are in the world.
But let me tell you something. As even though it's me, as I am like this, I know the difference between good and bad. Even if I'm doing it, like I will still have this conscience, like I'll still have this guilt in me that okay, I know what I'm doing is bad. There's no how.
But
Like
then
as
it's
far as like
okay though for the other person.
no, you don't understand. That's what I'm saying. But I still have that guilt in me that okay, I'm still
As in,
making
so
it.
yourself
I still
first.
have that guilt in
I
me.
know
Like
it's
as I know the difference between good and bad, but I still have that guilt in me that okay, what I'm doing is like
It's not good.
It's not good. But I'm still doing it. But still, like because they talk to me every time and like I do this and like they preach to me and I see this and the attitude, I know that okay, what I'm doing is not good. I have that guilt in me. Like,
But then, like, I think.
but that's why I say if you're not strong enough and you've not gotten there,
Don't go and find
You
it.
definitely-
just like
I
like,
feel.
don't make it too close, like too intimate.
What's even the thing? I feel like, you know, so I don't know where I heard this from one time. They said, like, you know, you preach first to people around you, right? So if they've seen you a certain way, it will take a while. Because, okay, let's say, like, we've been doing bad things together, and then one day I just wake up and I'm trying to preach the gospel to you. Like, you're going to have to start changing slowly. Like, my mom would tell me, like, oh, you can go to a friend's, your party and everything, but it's like, as he said, drink. Like, let's drink together. Like, I don't drink. I'm not telling you not to drink. I'm just telling you I don't drink. So it's like, some people will take it a different way. Like, oh, Toby said this one time, like, oh, that can lead to them not inviting you to a party next time because they're like, oh, she's just going to be come and down the party or something like that. But at least they know. I don't feel like it's a big deal. If you don't invite me to a party, that means you know that I'm not supposed to be there. So I have already.
But you're not making any difference because they will still do the things at the party regardless.
Like another thing that like as you grow in your Christian journey is that like you start to realize that your reality changes, your appetite changes, right?
Okay.
The type of friends that you want to get close with,
They'll change.
it changed. Like the desire to want to have a certain type of friend changes. You sort of know. It's like think of a man that you want to marry. You know, like you know the type of man that you're looking for. You're not just looking for. You're not just looking for anybody. Like your appetite, you know, is different.
Standards.
Like you have your standards.
Preference.
You know. So because I'm not saying like
Admiration.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I'm not saying it's like it's judgment. It's not being judgmental. You know, it's deciding
What
the
you
type
can
of people
deal
you
with.
want to let in your circle,
Okay.
right? Because for me, for example, the kind of person,
Jackie shit, so like.
the kind of people I want in my circle is people that's gonna help me move forward in like spiritually, physically, like every aspect.
Every need.
You know, every need possible. Like they can't be like, you know, half this, half that.
Half
Like, there has
that.
to be
Fully.
fully, you know. So, and
Thank you guys very much. Now to say my point, as a closing sentence in this. Now listen closely, guys. By the way, it's admiration, not admiration.
Thank God you
Let's
fixed
just
it.
So you know.
correct ourselves there. But at the end of the day,
Okay.
I think that we should be guided. It is not wrong to be friends with people that quote unquote are not like believers, or their faith is not as strong as yours. But be selfish when it comes to your salvation, guys. Hell is real and so is heaven. If they're dragging you down, you need to put yourself first and take yourself out of that situation. If you're struggling, you need to get yourself out.
She's
Fix
not
yourself.
an advert. This is just me.
Fix yourself
Jeez.
before going right back in. Because at the end of the day, we're not quitters. We're
Yeah.
winners, you know?
Yes.
All right.
So she ended well. She wanted to end. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we have come to the end of this video finally. Gosh. It's been so amazing for you guys.
Anyway, as I was saying,
as you were saying,
getting herself ready. Guys, if you like this video, let us know, please. Commenting. God bless you.
Like and subscribe.
Stay notified, guys. Click that bell.
Yes.
Share. Don't forget to share.
We will put. Please follow them on Instagram. We'll put their Instagram name.
Man gang. Just that scratching brave, yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna call this a close, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Deuces.
We Sabi.
Jesus na big man. Who not know I'm calling small boy. Jesus na serious man. Hey, Jesus na serious man. Who not know I'm calling man. Jesus na serious man. He be serious God. Who not know I'm calling man.
Mark me though right there.
Our God is a very
If he was that serious, I don't think he would.
He's a very serious God. He is serious in his work. He is serious in his plan. Forever reigning God. He knows what he is doing. He is ever ready.